Welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. We are so grateful that each and every one of you are here with us. We trust that you're off to a great start halfway through this new day, but nonetheless, if you're not off to a running start already, you have not hit the ground running, we trust that you have hit the ground running, folks. Coming up, we have the one and only, the original 10 chairman, Mr. Deron Adams, and we're going to be talking about local government and some of what is happening in the region there, Region 10. And if you know your geography, then you know that Region 10 houses the township of Linden, and that is my born town. It is my born town, people. That is my born town. So good to have each and every one of you here with us. That is my Barn Tongue people. And so Darren Adams is going to be coming through and talking to us again about what's happening at his end in the region. And as you know, the local government commission, because it's an RDC, it's a regional democratic council that overlooks what's happening there in Region 10. The Local Government Commission has responsibility for that supervisory function, and also the Ministry of Local Government under the installed Minister Nigel Damlal also, folks. So we're going to have Darren with us in just a little bit. But folks, what is happening with you guys? What's happening with you guys? That's what we want to know. What's happening with you guys? I'm so looking forward to talking to Darren. I haven't talked to him in a little bit, in a little while. Folks, them Tomb Raiders are out. Y'all see Rihanna on the international stage, on the real stage. Well, really getting on bad, people. Really getting on bad. Really getting on real bad. And we can come to that just in a second. But how are you folks doing? Wendy Roland, we see you. Edward Gonzalez, we see you, Edward, and Pauline Austin. We see you. All the Austins out here. Shivani, we see you, Shivani. Dawn Raymond, we see you too. Shivani Ford, we see you, Shivani. And we see Stacy Mattis. Vashti Magnot is here, joining out of Canada, folks. And we could not ask for a better person than Vashti Magnot. Really good to have so many of you wonderful people with us today. Really, really good to have all of you wonderful, beautiful people with us today. And guys, so looking forward to having you guys with us for discussion today. Well, what's happening where you guys are? Let us know. Patricia, Sandra Baptiste, good to see you. Baptiste, Pamela Kelman Bradford, how are you doing? Is it Sia Rebel? Oh, you got all these people here. Sia, how you doing? Cia, is that how it's pronounced? Sia Rebel. Good to see you, Sia. Elizabeth Norine is listening and watching at us from Sparkle City, where it's sunny. She says it's sunny but cold. It's sunny but cold. Well, we advise you, Elizabeth, to try to stay as warm as you can. Paulette Hicks, where there, Paulette? Good to see you. Good to see you, Paulette. I see Claire Belfield is here, and Suzanne Panerio. Suzanne, good to see you. Good to see you. Cecile Ogle is here as well. All these fancy name people. Is it Agati? Yep, Agati is here as well. Roxanne Odessa Jacobs here too. This is Agati Costello Edwards. Good to see you, Agati Costello. Maggie Hart is here as well. Well, when you have a name like Hart, you gotta got a big heart. We see also joining us. Yes, Paulette Hicks is joining us from Brooklyn, New York. Folks, we want to know how the weather is where you are there. That's what we want to know, how the weather is, how the weather be. Good to see each and every one of you here with us. And we hope that even if the weather is not fine, you are making where you are fine. Elizabeth says it's cold where she is there in Sparkle City, South Carolina. But she says it's a sunny outside. Sunny outside, but cold. I know if I'd rather one or the other. Sunny or cold. I want it just in between, folks, with weather.com at our end, where we broadcast our international podcast from the national capital city of Georgetown, Guyana, where we are, folks. Weather.com, one of our trusted sites for information on the weather, says it's 28 degrees outside. Y'all take that. But it feels like 32. It's 28 degrees outside, peoples. But it feels like 32 degrees. And we trust that you guys are well. You all are doing fantastic. You've been keeping good. You all eat? Uh? You had lunch? Merle, you had lunches yet? We gotta make sure. We gotta make sure some of y'all eating so on, because if we don't keep on some of y'all would run yourself into the ground. Dawn Fraser is watching us from Sophia, from the Sophia Sun. How is it there in Sophia, Dawn, in Sophia? Good to see you. Good to have Dawn with us. Gloria Chester. Gloria, how is Diamond doing? Gloria is shining bright like a diamond. Good to see you. Good to see you. Gloria, we have Andrew Hack is joining us from the diaspora. And sorry, Tony Hack. Tony says he's seeing and hearing us from the diaspora. Good to see you there, Tony. Tony, Tony, Tony. Cherry Baskin Greenwich is here too. Cherry, how are you doing? We got Charlotte Morris, we got Charlene Deuce Attendry. Rhonda Ferguson, how are you doing? Good to see you, Rhonda. Good to see you, Rhonda. All the other folks who are joining us, it is our privilege to have each and every one of you here with us. And guys, we'd have it no other way. We would have it no other way. Good to see each and every one of you. Pamela Kelman Bradford is here as well. Good to see you, Pamela. I see Shaunet Sisharan Mohan. I see Glensis Mingo Byrne. Y'all, these are simple names. Amanda Nelson, we see you. Carlos Malcolm, we see you as well. And again, thanks to each and every one of you for joining us, guys. Smash that emoji button and share the live stream. Let us begin our broadcast. If I may beg your kind indulgence, on the international stage where we spotted Rihanna quite recently. Now, folks, hold up. Rihanna, folks, Rihanna was out here like us. We out here, people, we out here. Rihanna was making an appearance at the Dior Autumn Winter 2022 show in Paris at what part of speech is Paris? I think Paris is a sorry at the word at is a preposition, and a preposition shows the relation of one object in relation to the other. I think at is a preposition in terms of part of speech. Going back to my old days, I used to teach. I used to teach folks. So going back to my old days, I think grammatically, at is a preposition. You see, the guys have confirmed. So she was at the Paris Fashion Week. It tells us the relation of Rihanna to the Fashion Week. She was at the Fashion Week. This is the Dior Autumn Winter 2022 Fashion Week in Paris, folks. And she arrived fashionably late. Of course, Rihanna has been showing off this belly. Rocky, ASAP Rocky, big Rihanna belly, Isha Child father. So she at the Dior Fashion Week, and she's showing off this belly of hers. She was dressed in, according to what the report we're picking up out of Billboard, says that she was dressed in sheer black, and she showed off, according to the report, the pregnant singer, the big belly singer, we would say back here, the big belly singer and beauty mogul, and the bees rhymed together, and that is a thing that is called alliteration. When you have those similar sounding words, especially where you have a syllable or a letter, right? Big belly beauty, beauty mogul showed off her, it's an English class today, showed off her baby bump in a sheer black dress at the Dior Autumn Winter 2022 show at Paris Fashion Week on Tuesday, March 1. That was yesterday. But she arrived fashionably late. Who tells she for do that? Who tell Rihanna to arrive fashionably? I know some of y'all like shop fashionably late. People like Roxanne and Rhonda Ferguson. I think too, Glenn Sis and them and Desiree Simon. It's come a little fashionably late, people. Fashionably late. So, Keith Evans, you come late. You come late too. Keith Evans now saying good day. We're 9 minutes into the program. Keith Evans fashionably late as well. We like to shop sometimes fashionably. I don't like to be late. Fashionably late to make an entrance. And so one of the reporters there who was covering this Dior Autumn Winter 2022 show at Paris Fashion Week decided that they were going to remind Ria. remind Riri that she was going to be, that she was fashionably late. So according to the report we have there, as she was walking down the red carpet, a viral video uploaded to Twitter showed someone in the crowd calling out Rihanna for her tardiness. Tardiness means you're late. Peoples, right? You're late. A voice is heard shouting repeatedly, "You're late." In response, people, without batting an eyelid, Brianna turns to the heckle and simply says, "You gotta wait for it." Wait for it. Folks who share the live stream, who share the live stream, we come in, we can play for y'all what Rihanna said. We want y'all get the valid and credible information in the ring, below the belt, and on FYI. We got to use your prepositions now. We want you all to get the valid and credible information. If Rihanna wasn't having it, good to see you, Siobhan McDonald and Glensis Bingo Burn. Good to see you. And Glensis says she's usually fashionably late. Good to see you, Tony Hack and Roxanne Odessa. Folks, as you join the program today, share the live stream. Coming up, we're going to be talking with Darren Adams. Coming up, we're going to be talking with Darren Adams, the chairman of Region 10, doing some fantastic work there on the ground. And we're going to catch up with him. Yesterday, we talked to the mayor of Georgetown, the Lord Mayor, his worship, Ubraj Narayan. Today, we're talking to the Lord Chairman, his worship, Darren Adams. That's coming up, folks. So back to this story. We there. We on the red carpet. Folks, we there on the red carpet at this Dior Autumn Winter 2020 show in Paris, or at the Paris Fashion Week, where Rihanna came fashionably late. That's what we're telling you, she come late. And, a reporter out there tried calling Rihanna out for her lateness. Melissa Richards, you come late too. Melissa Richards, you come late too. Good. But we ain't calling you out. We want the same thing that happened to the reporter happen to you. So here is Rihanna, guys. Here is Rihanna reacting to someone telling her that she was late. You gotta listen carefully now. Listen carefully. Listen carefully, so you will hear. Listen carefully, folks. Did you guys catch that? We can hear it, but you all hear that? You're late, you're late. Rihanna responds, no shit. Rihanna responds, folks, we just took out we toilet paper. Rihanna responded, no shit. No shit. You think I know late? It's me. It's I just come. That's what Rihanna, that's how Rihanna respond. That's how Rihanna responded. If she says no, the S word. No. Fecal matter. I know I late. I know I late. Don't remind me. Yep. You're late. You're late. You're late. Folks, the moral of this story is the moral of this story is Sheena Hazel and is it Agatha Costello Edwards? Senita Rampart. The moral of the story is if you see people come late, mind your business. You'll see them boys come late. Random Ferguson, Travonda, Travanza, Travanza Williams. You come late. Rihanna says it's so quiet, but the folks picked up on it, and this is a story in Billboard. That's the Billboard website. There's a story there. Rihanna says N-O, and then she says the S word. You think me and know I'm late? No shit. That's what Rihanna responded. Folks, moving on. Good to have each and every one of you, each and everyone. Closer to home, guys. Closer to home. A couple of days ago, we covered this story of these tomb raiders. And in this first instance, guys, they had raided the tomb of this guy who died from stage 4 cancer and was recently buried. And his family, he was just about 23 years old when he died from stage 4 cancer, unfortunately. And a family wanted to give their relative family member what they deem as a fitting send off. They have put some money and some jewelry in the coffin. Well, no sooner had they done that, the tomb raider struck, fling the body out of the coffin, and went away, looted the coffin there of the jewelry and the little monies and so on that were put. Well, they have struck again. Mind you, in that first instance, they would have apprehended, I think, three-person. I think three, yes, three persons were apprehended. Well, the Tomb Raiders have struck again, folks. They have struck again. It seems to be that we have some serial Tomb Raiders. We have some serial Tomb Raiders. They have struck again, and this time, this fella here, he's been buried for about 5 to 7 years, and the guys have struck. And I think we have a bit of audio we want to share with you from this new scenario, folks. We seem to have some serial Tomb Raiders. Things tight. So when your relatives put you at Lurupintir, one of those places, and say rest in peace, you're not guaranteed it. You are not guaranteed it. So they broke into another coffin, guys, and they threw out the person, the occupant of the coffin, and apparently they made away. They made away with whatever quote unquote valuables they found inside. Take a listen for what you can pick up. Yep. And they're pointing to remains of the person scattered around the tomb site, scattered in the burial ground. The name is given as one Manu. And this video, of which we're sending the audio through to you guys, was posted by one Mark Batson. And they're showing just the video shows how the parts of the body is scattered, litters the burial ground. Yep. The video again is posted by one Mark Batson and was uploaded to social media just an hour ago. The Tomb Raiders have struck, guys. And these are some of his relatives are around the graveside there, along with police. Another strange feature here: the police are at the gravesite and they're armed with some heavy machine guns. I guess they prepared for anything. If people can rob the dead, I guess you got to be prepared for anything. And they're just showing some images now of the burial ground. And again, the parts of the body of who has been identified as Manu, Mark Batson identified this person as Manu, scattered there around the burial ground and around the burial site where the relatives would have interred this body. The Tomb Raiders have struck people, and again, when you're interred and they say rest in peace, there are no guarantees, apparently. There are no guarantees. Things like Hula Lafferman Rubens and Marcia Iran, you see them guys coming, they're selling you gold and so on. You don't know where they get it from. Could be dead people gold and you get some perfume, you see a man on the street corner selling, you don't know where they get it from. So they have struck. They didn't tell us which cemetery they're in, but this is locally in Guyana. The Tomb Raiders have struck. And again, this seems to be a new feature of people breaking into tombs. I mean, there's nothing new really in this country, but we haven't heard about this for a little while. But them boys have gone back into this area. Things are tight. Gordon Smith and Carl and Beverly, so glad to have you guys here. I see Pauline Austin is here as well, and we have Roxanne Aaron. And again, Eula Lafferman Rubens is here too, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking with the Region 10 regional chairman in just a minute or so about the challenges and the changes and challenges at local government. And we know this has been brought into the spotlight recently as, the local government authorities and these municipalities and regional bodies have not been working as unified and as they should. And we're going to be talking with Darren Adams, the regional chairman, the abled regional chairman of region number 10, about some of what is happening where he is. And Darren is going to be joining us in just a little bit, folks. And we want to ask you guys to stay tuned for that as we talk with Darren. As we talk with him, stay tuned for that. Right? But good to see so many of you. I see Alicia Thomas is here with us. I see Carol, is it Hertzan is here with us too. We see Stacy Mattis is here too, and Shalon Kingston. Guys, we are so grateful to have each and every one of you with us. And folks are asking, what really happened to Guyana? Folks, and as Shalon Kingston asks, what really happened to Guyana? Let me brief you to some additional information as you guys are there. Right? As you guys are there, let me brief you to some additional information. So it has brought to our attention that bids apparently were open for the construction of some bridges in a particular area. And I'm coming back to it so that I can get the information clearly for you. Apparently, bids rather were opened for the rehabilitation of several bridges at Garden of Eden, Chateau Margaux, Cemetery Road, and Bedford Wacton. Several bids were open for this area, and we're happy. And several persons applied. And now this is construction work, folks. Bridges have to be built. This is construction work that got to be undertaken. And a number of persons responded. Folks, who's sharing the live stream? Who's going to smash that emoji button for us so that persons get the valid and credible information? And as I said, guys, on this issue of these bridges and the tenders and the bids and so forth, several companies responded for these bridges to be built. And at I said places like the Garden of Eden, which is on the East Bank, Chateau Margaux up on the East Coast, Cemetery Road is in central Georgetown, and you got Bedford Wacton again on the East Coast. These bridges need to be built, rehabilitation needs to be done, and so here time is stretching, applied for these bridges infrastructure work to be done. Well, it's the name of some of these companies that have raised some eyebrows. Is the name the NAME of some of these companies that have raised some eyebrow. I'm going to call some of them out for you. And let's see if your eyebrows are raised as well. We're going to call out some of the names of the companies that bid, right? And see if 1 second. Yeah, and see if the see if your eyebrows, if you have any, would have been raised as well. Again, guys, this is some of the companies who bid for the bridges in these areas at areas such as Garden of Eden, Chateau Margaux. Yep, that's one of them. In addition to that, apologies there. Chateau Margaux, Cemetery Road, Bedford Wacting, for these projects. Right. So here are some of the companies who bid for who put in a bid for this project. You have Hot and Spicy Creole Corner. That's the name of this company. Hot and Spicy Creole Corner. They put in a bid. MS Investments. They put in a bid. HR Distributors. They put in a bid as well. D and G Foods, they put in a bid too. You had Restro, is it Restro? Restro Bar and Lounge. Restro Bar and Lounge, they put in a bid too to build these bridges, to fix and rehabilitate these bridges. You have, as I said, Restro Bar and Lounge. You got GK Professional Management Services. They put in a bid as well. You got Mohabir Catering. They put in a bid as well. You got A and Z um, Halal Butchery. A and Z Halal Butchery. They put in a bid as well. And then you got Juniors Barbecue, Juniors BBQ, Barbecue and Burgers. They put in a bid as well. And mind you, again, according to the report, a total of 30 contractors have submitted bids for the rehabilitation and construction of bridges at Garden of Eden, Chateau Margaux, Cemetery Road, and Better for Acting. These companies, Hot and Spicy, MS Investments, HR Distributors, D&G Foods, Restro Bar and Lounge, GK Professional Management Services, Mojave Catering, A and Z Halal Butchery, Junior Barbecue and Burgers. I hope this might be a little something. This might be a little something. Well, them boys could be saying that if a radio station could be applying for to build a school, who is we? 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 So I just wanted to alert you to that, and we could perhaps file this away on the again is not a real place. We could perhaps file it away on the there. We could perhaps file it away on the there, guys. That being said, we're gonna try now to get to link with our guests for today. All right, we're gonna try to link with our guests for today, Mr. Deron Adams, guys, as we discuss changes and challenges at local government. And you might understand where we got some challenges at local government because all of these are community bridges and so on, right? And Mark Garnett said, "So who gonna cook the food now?" That's the question Mark Garnett is asking. Who gonna cook the food now? Well, that's a good question. When you buy the food and it tastes in a little how, you're gonna know who gonna cook the food. Folks, I think we have the regional chairman with us. Give us a second to get him in the studio properly. And Darren, do we have you, Mr. Regional Chairman, Mr. Adams?
Hi, good day, Sharon. How are you?
Darren, so great to have you. Welcome, sir, to our international podcast, Below the Belt. So good to have you. Welcome. Haven't talked to you for a little bit.
Hmm. Sure.
Good to
Thank
have you.
you.
Darren, as you're jumping in, and we're discussing changes and challenges at local government, and we're so privileged to be talking to you, Mr. Chairman, the Chairman of Region 10. We were just discussing with our listeners that we saw this bid recently, and not to make light of it by any means, but this is a bid, Mr. Chairman, for some infrastructural work in Region 4, in places
Hmm.
like, let me bring it up again so I can call the names clearly. In Region 4, to rehabilitate and construct bridges at places like Garden of Eden, Chateau Margaux, Cemetery Road, Bedford Acting, and so forth. And the report we have says that over 30 companies apply. But just to give you the name of some of these companies applying to do this
Hmm.
rehabilitation and construction work, we got here Hot
Hmm.
and Spicy, Creole Corner, MS Investments, H&R Distributors, D&G Foods, Restro Bar and Lounge, GK Professional Management Services, Mojave Catering, ANZ Halal and Butchery, Junior Barbecue and Burgers. And we were recalling something closer to your end, and maybe them boys see that, if a radio station and those personalities could apply to build a school there in Region 10, who are they? So maybe folks are learning fast, Mr. Chair.
Hi. Well, Sharon, it's happening. It's happening in every region. It's
Hmm.
happening all over,
Hmm.
right? We have flagged a number of projects here as well, persons who are benefiting from contracts. And what I can say to you is that many of the names that I see popping up, uh, they're known supporters or they are aligned. I can say this to the government. The process is not one that is fair.
Hmm.
Um, We are seeing jobs being created for the boys. And as I indicated sometime last year, over 70% of the projects that are being executed are being either done by persons who do not even live in Region 10, and we connect them to the administration of the day. It's a sad situation, um, and I can you know say without doubt that um, I understand what is happening there in Region 4 as well.
Yep. And one of the challenges you've had, you've talked about projects that are being flagged. One of the challenges you've had is the quality of the execution,
Yeah,
because quite recently on this very program, we were talking about, as we were discussing the national budget and them talking about the monies they're giving for infrastructure. It sounds nice on paper,
yeah,
but in actuality, there was among the projects that you guys flagged there for substandard work is one in which
correct.
a road had washed away. I think it was in Silver Tongue or Silver City.
Yeah, yeah. Silvertown.
Silver Tongue. They had just finished
Yeah, and
building part of that road and the drainage network and so on. And the whole thing
yeah,
just collapsed.
yeah. And despite we flagged all of these projects, and that's only one, by the way, we have seen that this very contractor went on to receive about 4 or 5 more projects, millions of
Wow.
dollars, right? So
Wow.
there's clearly no disregard for, um, holding people accountable. We're told that there is no system in place to blacklist contractors when they default. And our concern remain that we want to preserve the structural integrity of any project that is being executed. What the council did, at least at the RDC level, very early in 2020, we moved the motion, for example, that all roads being constructed must be fitted with accompanying drains.
Hmm.
Now, this year we made a submission for over 30 roads. You know how many we got on the capital? About seven.
Wow.
And two drains to be completed in the region on the capital. Two.
Why do you think that is so? I think you've articulated it, but want you to deal with it head on. Why do you think this is so?
So I understand what is happening. It places us between a rock and a hard place. And I believe if if central government, for example, would stick to allowing the subcommittees of the RDC who would have met and would have outlined clearly, and they would have acted upon the advice given by the RDC rather than embed themselves and identify projects that they want in specific communities. Not that they have any stronghold here really in Region 10, but the very few communities, the very few people who are sympathizers, who are supporters of them, are benefiting, and the average person, is just left with nothing. And it's a sad situation.
Yep. Certainly. And Darren, you're one of those persons, regional chairmans across the board, who have been really working hard. And I think people who might not have been warmed up to you from the inception, I took a second look at you and definitely gravitated to your kind of leadership under the last flood that we had that affected Region 10 so badly in places like Kokwani and Rockstone and so
Yeah,
forth, with the work you guys did on the ground. What are some of the
yeah.
other challenges you would say that you're having at the local government level?
So, so Sherrod, let me say this, and let me say this: hashtag all for the one Guyana policy that is being propagated by central government.
Hmm.
You have here, and I have a document that came to me yesterday, where there's an amended repeal of the method of employment for all local government organs, where the commission has now revoked all prior delegations that were issued by the commission to local government organs for the recruitment process of a number of positions: town clerk, assistant deputy town clerk, treasurer, finance officer. And I'm speaking here on behalf of my colleagues who are at the MNTC.
Hmm.
But what you find is that we are placed between a rock and a hard place. What we are seeing is that the RDC and the MNTC are not being given the opportunity to function independently, like occurred between the period 2015 to 2020.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing central government largely ignoring the representation made by the elected component of the council, and they are determining the priorities for the region and the municipality. So if we did our consultation, for example, and the agriculture department said, listen, we need a brand new vehicle so that we can have extension officers visit farmers who are affected by the flood. We can ensure that they get technical support. They respond and say, no, remove that vehicle because we don't want to empower Region 10. We don't want to ensure that there is food security here. We started our farmers market day. We have been doing a successful we have successfully been holding that farmers market day. We got word that the support that we would have normally requested, that the officer has been told that he will no longer be able to give that support. These are things like setting up tents on the tarmac so that farmers can bring out their produce. The cash gun distribution, we have seen how it was done in a discriminatory manner.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Mm-hmm.
persons who are genuine farmers who never received that cash grant, and persons are boasting that they never planted anything, but they receive the cash grant. We made representation for a new RDC building, Sherrod. I don't even want to send you the pictures that came to my office of what is happening in the RDC office here because it was filth floating up on the ground floor where the finance department is. But
Wow.
guess what? The RDC building was removed from the budget without any justification. Um, there are many other instances that I can the board of guardians. We requested in the budget monies for uh, to assist persons that are suffering with mental health issues. We were told to remove that from the budget. And so, out of concern, because many persons are suffering from mental health issues, we were able to secure funding from an international agency, Safe Guyana, who I must commend. And we partnered with the US Embassy and we were able to pull off that project with no support from the government. Sad, all for the One Guyana policy that is being promoted.
You know, Mr. Chairman, and folks who are now joining us, we're privileged to be joined today by the Region 10 Regional Chairman, Mr. Darren Adams, who is doing fantastic, phenomenal work in the region with meager and little resources on behalf of central government. You mentioned something just now, the regional farmers market, and I think that Region 10 was the first region to really truly grab hold of this concept whereby things tight in the country, everybody knows that, but whereby the small man, you got a little cash crop garden home, you can make something on the side if you're producing a surplus for your house by bringing it to the regional farmers market. But I see like them by Steve the idea, I see this is now being
Yes,
pushed at
yes,
the national level. They're on like
yes,
them by
yep,
Steve
yep,
ideas.
yep.
Talk to
Yep,
us.
they did. Listen, recognizing when the Ninth Council took over, Sherrod,
Hmm.
I know that agriculture holds great potential. It to create jobs. I came into office along with the councillor, and we never wanted to go to the agriculture sector through the traditional lens. We wanted to one ensure we had a robust market day, ensure that we incorporated ICT with agriculture. We did training sessions. Are you and you know what is sad is that for 2022 they removed the agriculture budget from under the office of the regional chairman. They slashed the funds that was allocated in an attempt to stifle this region. Now we import close to 70% of our food. With the limited resources, we were still able to set a committee up in place that farmers are now able to bring out their produce and they're
Hmm.
able to come to the tarmac. At the last market day, we observed that many of the farmers who are aligned to a particular community that would normally come out, apparently they were instructed now not to support the market day, right? So even when it comes to food security and empowering
Wow.
people, you're having an issue, you're being targeted, you're being placed between a rock and a hard place.
Wow.
But nevertheless, we will continue. We have we have developed and we have created what is called the Regional Economic Advancement Partnership. And what I can say to you is if central government wants to deny the people of Region 10 access to resources and funding for projects, we will ensure that we connect with our partners in the US, in the diaspora, and other places. But under my watch, every project that we intended to do, the vision of the ninth RDC Council will be executed with or without the input of central government.
And Darren, I'm happy to hear you say that. And if people want to tee for your project ideas, maybe they say that that imitation is the highest form of flattery. So kudos to you for bringing that initiative on board in the first place. And them boys now gone with it, trying to push it
Yeah,
nationally. Kudos to you on that front. But I'm happy to hear you mention as well the economic side of it, because we have seen they have given monies in several regions. They have given monies in several regions through the regional budget. But even when they have given some regions that are the stronghold of APNU AFC, they have given minimal in relation to the other regions that they've given money to. And we see in particular with Region 4, they have actually
yeah,
give less than they gave last year,
yeah,
even though they have this biggest budget ever with the regional budgets.
yeah. Well, well, Sharad, what persons need to understand is that the government of the day continues to target those regions that the coalition wants strategically and intentionally. We are aware of that. Um, we have seen Region 10, for example, receiving an increase of what, 500,000. As I said, and the things that we requested, Sherrod, are things that are needed. Region 10 is a talent basket for this country. I'll
Hmm.
give you another example. We made a proposal that a youth and sports officer be hired or be seconded to give technical advice to young people in school. We wanted to push the upgrading of play parks, of sports facility. That was slashed from the budget. Persons with disability, we made a request for assistance. There was a young lady who runs the Center for Children with Disability, and we asked for simple things, like a whiteboard for the teacher to do the classes with the children. That was rejected. But you know what we did? As I said, under the Regional Economic Advancement Partnership, we have connected with a person in the diaspora who has already secured funding to build a center for the children with disability, and we're going to push ahead with that project. We started another project under the REAP program to empower women, to bring them into a area where they can take charge of their lives. We provided sewing machines, and persons from the diaspora contributed. We put that in the budget. We were told remove it from the budget. But again, we have our supporters and friends in the diaspora who very soon we will start the construction of that facility and we will deliver a mini factory to the people of Region 10. So I just want the people to know, residents of Region 10, our youth, our women, our teachers, healthcare workers, contractors, farmers, entrepreneurs, social workers, religious groups, persons with disabilities, and those on the public assistance program, that your ideas were recorded, that the concerns that they raise, we would have listened and formulated policies that apply directly to what they would have highlighted to us. We transmitted all of this to the government and it was rejected. In the greater part, it was rejected. They will come and they will say that the budget is XYZ. But trust me, the people on the ground are not feeling the budget because the goods and services that are being provided to the RDC are being done in a discriminatory manner. You have people from the East Coast coming and build a bridge. You have people in Region 6
And
coming and weed.
it's people they run. It's people who building bridges and weeding who own a cook shop some place too.
Yeah, yeah.
So they might never have
And
any experience in bridge building or weeding.
yeah,
That's
no
that's the only part.
experience.
But Darren, before you come off of what we're talking about here with the economics, I just want people to know, and you can correct me if we're wrong at our end, but our research says, our information says that in 2021, last year, for your regional budget, there was a $40 million allocation, to be specific, 39 million 999,000. And you did
Yeah.
mention a $500,000 increase this year,
Yeah. Yeah.
which put it to half uh, $500 million, right?
Yeah.
Which represents a 1% increase. And this is
Yes.
Region 10. That was one of the hardest hit
Hardest hit.
region for the flood that we just
Yeah.
had. The hardest
Yep.
hit region. And I just want to put things in perspective for the persons who are listening. This is why we say share the podcast so that folks get
Yeah.
valid and credible information. That's a 1% increase. Look at another region that is controlled by, quote unquote, control by APNU AFC Region 4. We've said they have had a decrease in their regional budget by 15%. So there on you got a
Yeah.
1% increase. Region
Yes.
4, Mr. Daniel Siram, he's the regional chairman for Region 4. They have had a 15% decrease in their budget. Region 7, that is also controlled by APNU AFC, they have had an increase in their budget by 2%. In comparison to Region 8, that has had a 3% increase in their budget. Region 6, a 7% increase in their budget. Region 5, a 32% increase in their budget. Region 3, a 10% increase in their budget. Region 2, 14% increase in their budget. Region 1, a 6% increase. People, I hope you are hearing me.
Yes.
Regional Chairman Adams.
So, Sharon, you're correct. You're right. We received an increase of 500,000. This is after Region 10 was being hit, was the hardest hit region in terms of the flood. I went into Kokwani. And what I want you to know, and I want the people of Kokwani to hear me clearly, instructions apparently came from central government that no flag raising ceremony should occur at both Aichuni and Kokwani. They pulled the funding for us from those two communities.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to them, not under my watch. And we reached out to the private sector and we secured funding. And I went into Kokwani and we were able to hold the flag raising ceremony at Kokwani and
Fantastic.
Aichuni.
Fantastic.
This region should not be shortchanged of resources when you are preaching about one Guyana.
Correct,
We would
correct.
have saw, we would have seen a trajectory path for progress over the life of the 2015 to 2020. And the proposed budget for 2022 that we submitted, and that was slashed. I can now say to you that we predict it will definitely cause massive hemorrhaging in the system. It falls short in many ways because of these actions taken by central government. Programs to empower youths across the region has been cut. Little or no sufficient emphasis has been placed on empowering young people. ICT training programs have been defunded. We propose
Wow.
training for youths to prepare them for the possible opportunities. They boast of the call center. Let them tell you how many young people would have walked off because they only received $2,000 as salary, right?
Wow.
The welfare and gender affairs. Can you believe this? Working for a whole entire month and receiving $2,000. And this is the government that boasts on co-invest that they are bringing jobs to the region. Welfare and Gender Affairs Committee. They told us to set up a welfare and gender affairs committee. When we requested funding, it was slashed. So, as I said, we are placed between a rock and a hard place. I'm happy that I'm able to ventilate this position on your podcast and that people should understand that the RDC, while their democratic credentials exist, their authority to the budgetary allocations and their determined projects and priorities for the region will only happen if the central government respects the authority that occurred under the David Granger administration.
Fantastic. Well said, Darren. I couldn't add or subtract to that. But I know, in addition to all of these challenges, you have been able to implement a lot of programs, and I see you're in collaboration with quite a few entities to move the work of the region forward. I see you've been collaborating, for instance, with the U.S. Embassy, Civil Affairs team, and the Sexual Assault and Family Education, Safe Guyana Inc., and hosting rather a mental health and resiliency training program for social work and welfare professionals. That is needed in this climate with things tight and things so tense in this country. Mental health is important, including your own. Deron, tell us a little bit about this kind of work that you've been doing.
Yes, that's why we hosted that program, Sharon. It's needed right now.
Agreed, sir. Agreed. Tell us about this and perhaps similar projects that you've been working on.
Well, yes. So I'm happy, and I want to say thank you to Michelle from Safe Guyana, um, Sexual Assault and Family Education, the U.S. Embassy Civil Affairs team, that ensured that residents of Region 10 got that opportunity to bolster their coping skills
I
through their
wonder why
resiliency.
Region 10 was picked out of all of the regions.
No,
For mental
no,
health training and resiliency.
well, Sharon, when you're dealing on the stress that you've been dealing with over the past 2 years, you have to, as a leader that is concerned about the social and the economic well-being of our people, you have to activate projects, programs like these. You have, for example, in a region that is predominantly Afro Guyanese,
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
board of guardians being set up where all 8 members are of Indo Guyanese. And Sharad, mind you, I am mixed. So
Hmm.
my father was Indian, my mother was Afro.
Hmm. Hmm.
But when the coalition was in power, you had over 800 people benefiting from public assistance. And there was a transition plan where they would allow them to transition and create their own small businesses and so on. 6 months into this administration taking office, what they did is started to shelve off innocent women with no clear plan of transition for these women for them to sustain or continue on their journey. So from 800 of persons, 800 who are on the public assistance program, their plan was to take off people. But what we understand they're doing now is replacing those people with cronies and people who are not even genuinely in need of public assistance.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so they are targeting communities that support the coalition. You look at the cash grant distribution, another example. That's why we need a mental health program. You go to communities that they have their little supporters, they're given the cash grant without any form of ID or anything. But when they go to communities that they know are a lot of Afro Guyanese are in, you have to show title for the land, you gotta show ID card, you gotta show TIN, all kind of thing you gotta show. Forget the 25,000.
Yep. And I see Councillor Norris King says Norris Corbin King says, them one pressure we, but we strong
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, he's right. He's right. And I say that Region 10 has been receiving the blunt of it. You had a situation, Sherrod, under the coalition, we would have renovated a property called the Darfolk Home, where our senior citizens go there, they play their games, they have their luncheon, they interact with the other colleagues. This government attempted to take over the Darfur home to convert it into a quarantine facility.
What?
Throw the people craft out, dismantle everything that the people had. And it only as a result of the people standing up what we were able to, force them out from that position that they wanted to take there. But this is the disrespect that is occurring here in Region 10.
Wow. Wow.
Right?
That's all I can
We
say. Wow.
we have we have and I want people to know that despite all of the challenges that the office of the regional chairman and your councils will find innovative ways to connect with our people. In the 2022 budget, Sharon, we made a request for a vehicle for the office of the regional chairman and for the vice chairman who has to service Kokwani.
Hmm.
Vehicles came for everybody else. Vehicles came for the REO, the RHO. If you see, man, all the other departments, but they denied the office of the regional chairman of vehicle and the vice chairman, who has to go to Kokwani, by the way, and come out on that road. But they're all driving around with fancy vehicles. But the head of the region, because it's a coalition region that won it, coalition won here, we have been denied access of vehicles so that we can access communities. But nevertheless, communities will see us. We will find the resources to interact with them. But that is what has been happening here.
And I understand from you saying that, Jaron, why you prefaced your contribution here today with this one Guyana thing that the administration, I don't want to say the administration often talks about. Why you preface your contribution here with that. And I really want to say that in spite of all of these challenges, uh, regional chairman, you have been finding a way forward, because we noted this, and that in your Republic Day address,
Yeah,
you talked about some of the successes and some of the lighter moments in the region. You talked about the folks who have been, keeping the flag of the region flying high, like Miss McCalmont, who placed third in this year's, I think, is it the match,
yes,
the match queen pageant. You've been talking about those other persons in sports and so forth, who have been really keeping the region's flag flying.
yes, correct. So, and that is why we took a position. As I mentioned to you, Region 10 is a talent basket. And we had to honor our our athletes, whether they're in Kokwani, the young lady from Ichuni that did well in our exam, because we believe that the rural areas should have equal opportunities. And in my presentation there, I encourage the central government that despite all the challenges, and even with the team that they presented from us, resolute in building our one Guyana. And I said to them, as we celebrate the anniversary, I encourage us all to not be swayed from the course of securing true and equitable development for our people all across Guyana in the years to come. We must benefit and benefit equitably from the patrimony that the government holds in trust for all Guyanese. And so, through their elected representatives, and sometimes in spite of them, we must all continue ensure that the rural areas and the riverine communities are not forgotten in favor of the urban areas, and that the riverine communities' needs, while it's different to those of the coastland, they must be provided for nonetheless. And so the people at Rivers View, I know the challenges that you're facing there, where the Tushao is taken. She's the treasurer, she's the executing officer, she's the chairperson, and she has locked out everybody. I hear you. I know of the concerns in the Asukebo River. I know of the concerns at Rockstone. I know of the concerns in Kokwani that the people there would have highlighted to us. And rest assured that we are making representation here for you. I know I observed when I came out, Charles Ramson Jr., the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, ran in there. But I want him to know that the people are asking that he completes the basketball court,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
washroom facility, that the quality of work that is being done in the Kokwani Hospital, the substandard work, that they improve on that they complete the teachers' hostel fence that has been broken down for a year or more, right? That they pave the roads there in Kokwani Park. We started work there. That they put systems in place from now that the Kokwani children will be able to be accommodated when the hostel at the Linden Technical Institute is completed. Those are the concerns we want you to address. Deliver STEM and ICT um, hubs to Kokwani. Make sure that the community has ICT training sessions. Provide the resources, not slash it from my budget, but you don't have no clear plan in place for transition for persons who participated in these training sessions between 2018 or as of recent. You must have a plan in place for continuity for these programs. That is what I want them to focus on.
Indeed, indeed. Darren, it sounds as though you have your hands on the pulse of what is happening in the region. I don't think Region 10 could have asked for a better leader, a better chairman at this point. We want to thank you for spending this time with us. You have to come back very soon and give us a further update on what's happening in the region. It has been an education. Listen to you articulate all of these issues and possible remedies as well. And your aspiration to work not only with central government but work with the with the authorities at local government to advance the development of the region. Thanks very much, Mr. Chairman Darren Adams.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks for being part of our program today. Folks, that's our time here. And of course, the one and only Mr. Darren Adams, the regional chairman of Region 10, folks. Fantastic, fascinating region. And, some of you got to rediscover Region 10. I spent some time there two weekends back. My wife and I wanted to get a change of scenery from the city, and we went up to Region 10 for a couple hours, spend the night there, had a fantastic time. Woke up at four corners, a junction there where they got that lovely eatery, had some lovely pepper pot, and so and I want to spend some more time there, going to places like the Blue Lake, taking in some of the tourist sites there in Linden, Upper Demerara, Upper Berbice, Region 10 Chairman, Mr. Darren Adams, and I'm certain you understand that this is a chairman of no ordinary measure. This man knows what he's talking about. He knows his people. He's a man on the ground, and he's getting things done, and he wants to get things done for his region, Region 10, Upper Demerara, Berbice. Folks who have joined us, thanks for joining us again, and thanks, Regional Chairman, for spending this time with us as we discuss challenges, changes and challenges at local government. And certainly there's a fellow who wants positive change for his region there. Glenn Sismingo Bourne, good to see you. Michaela Webster, good to see you as well. Andrew Cuthbert, and all you other beautiful folks, good to see you. Yolanda, we see you as well. Guys, if you don't drop your name, we won't know that you guys are here. And to give you a shout out, come on board and partner with us so we can keep growing these programs from strength to strength. Guys, all of these programs are a work in progress. We ain't done yet, we're still tweaking, and we got some other ideas too to bring on board. But thank you guys for joining us. Come on board, come on board, come on board, come on board, and partner with us so that we can do more of these programs. Thanks for joining us, guys. Come on board. We're available via Cash App. We're available via the Cash App. We're available via Zelle. We're available via MoneyGram, Western Union. We're available via MMG and PayPal. You want to know how you can contribute to our programs financially? You can WhatsApp 627-6963. We're going to be happy to let you know. 627-6963. It's the second day of March, folks. We are fired up and ready to go. Pace and power in 2022. That's our time. That's our program, folks. Bunny Allison, we see you there. Bunny Dion Gravesand, we see you as well. Folks, drop a comment so we can say hi. Just say hi or just say bye so we can give you a shout out. Quick shout out as we go. Thanks for joining our international podcast. Below the bet, who vex, who vex, lose, being concerned. Good to see each and every one of you, folks. That's our time today. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Karen Clark, we see you, Karen. John, we see you, John. We see you, John. Good to see you there. Folks, drop a quick comment now, man, so we can give you guys a quick shout out. Some of y'all too slow on the draw. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Friedel Clark, good to see you, Friedel Clark. Friedel, Gordon Smith, we see you there. Sandra Hanover, Annie Sandra Hanover, good to see you. Chisel Chipper, how you doing? Good to see you, Chisel. Good to see you. Big up, Chisel Chipper. Paulette Devonish, how you doing? Rhonda Jackson, good to see you, Rhonda. Keith Evans, good to see you as well, guys. Have a safe rest of the day. See you guys in the ring at 8. Maxine Monroe, good to see you, Maxine. Paulette Devonish, Glensis Mingo Byrne, Hulda Thomas, good to see you, Hulda. John says he's from Linden, but he's in the diaspora at the moment. John, thanks for joining us. Faye Hart, good to see you, Faye. Faye, is it Sia Rebel or is it Sia Rebel? Good to see you, Sia. Good to see you, Sia. Good to see you there. Sanborn, boom out. Thanks for joining us, folks. That's our program today. That is we program. See you guys back in the ring at 8. So long from below the belt. Who vex loose? Stay safe, guys. Stay safe. That's our time.